Given the state of our country today, what do you think is the kind of school that our country needs?
First, probably we should know where is the Philippines right now. I think based on the economic reality we have, we are basically an agricultural country. We
Okay.
haven't stepped into the real industrial age yet. Agricultural, commercial, if ever we have some industry here, mostly, if not all, are processing industry, like assembly. We import from other countries parts, and we assemble them and sell it to mostly world market, the domestic market. Those low-end products, probably the domestic market can consume them, but those high-ends, definitely the domestic market is so small. It depends on the market, world market. Like recently, we are affected by the tariff policy of
Right.
Trump, no, from 20 to 19% tariff rate is so funny. So anyway, uh, this is the reality we have. We are agricultural, commercial, not industrial country. So our education, if we contend with this kind of situation, our schools should cater to this kind of economy. We produce, ironically, very few people are studying courses involving agriculture. There's
Right,
one
right.
university here that is offering agriculture courses free. If you enroll, you don't have to pay. It's a private university, but very few are enrolled in that course. So sad when our country is basically agricultural, and know that course, that college of agriculture is practically a barren place in that university. So agriculture, but our education, our schools are not producing people, graduates who would serve this this sector. So, well, if we say that the school has to serve the needs of the nation, then we should produce people who have who are um, graduates who would, who are not really um, well versed in the modern uh, economy. They are, they can be commercial. They can be. We are producing. We should produce marketing personnel, salespersons. Basically, commercial, but not high tech um, engineers. Engineers who are into um, research, doing basic scientific research that will serve the needs of industry, because we don't have. So shall we just stay on this kind of? Will the school just purely reflect the needs of the country, of the kind of economy we have right now, or the school has to move further, risking the fact that we might be producing good engineers. I know we have good engineers, but many of them, after graduating from the course, they don't stay in the Philippines.
Yeah,
They go out
I have
abroad.
friends who are
Yeah, they go
engineer
abroad
friends who are
because
not in the country.
they are of no use in this country. They cannot do research. They go to, I know there's summa cum laude in Diliman. One is in Germany, doing research work, earning
Yeah,
lots
I
of
have a friend also in London.
so so that shows that if we produce graduates that are not needed, no, are not needed of the in the country, because of we don't have those industry, we don't have the sectors that would cater to the needs to their courses. They will be forced to work abroad.
Right.
On the other hand, if we like, there was one time I think the department where was in fact this K to 12 is a product of the mentality of exporting manpower, because according to, this is my understanding of the rationale of this K to 12, because according to some official, that based on the data we had in the past few decades, many of our high school graduates don't don't pursue tertiary education. They don't have mainly they don't have the resources. They cannot afford. Some would study 1 or 2 years and drop out. So after those graduates who could not finish college, or did not attend even a day in college in the university, do not find job, cannot find job. Of course, if they find, they may probably those are menial, low paying job. So they said, well, we have to, since many of them could not go to college, why not add 2 years senior high? And then and we have a strand there that is the so-called tech box, technology
vocational.
so that when they go to this strand, they don't even need to go to college. After graduating from senior high, they can work either here or in abroad, can work. So in a way, that serves actually the kind of economy that we have, that reflects really the and either way, tech book or for advanced courses, the market is not here, it's abroad. The labor market, they would go. Those who are in the high tech, they would go to Germany to become researchers there, earning so much, lots of. And then those who are graduates of tech book will just go to Middle East, probably will become workers there, earning relatively high salary compared. That's why they go. They have to sacrifice. They leave their family, and then that's a great sacrifice on their part. Okay. Who wants to go abroad? They want to be in the family, but they just cannot find job also here. So because we don't have industry, so the nature of agricultural commercial economy is that you cannot expand the labor market. It's so limited. Unlike in industry, you can absorb lots of labor manpower in factory. That's the downside if your economy remains agricultural. So they are both those who are in the tech book, those who are graduates of UP Diliman, those who are in the engineering courses, both extreme would go abroad. So those who are left here are the ones who are scattering to the needs of this agricultural society. This should not stay at this kind of level. Like, for example, in China, in the first 20 years of reform, that was in 1980s to 2000, the year 2000. At that time, the relation of China and the Western powers are very harmonious, because China, the division of labor was so clear. The Western country would invest in China, bring in high-tech industry in China, and China did not have at that time those industry, and they produce labor, manpower, cheap labor. For example, I remember in the 1980s, Nike has lots of factories in China. The leather to make the shoes were from South Korea. China could not produce that kind of material, so they import the leather, assemble the shoes, sell it back to the basically the markets in the States. So China in the 1980s was very much similar to our situation here right now. So for 20 years, China was a world factory, and the division of labor is so harmonious that the Western capitalist countries or providing capital technology, and China provides cheap labor and cheap in such a way that the products are very cheap. They sell it to the states, and everyone is happy. China, the people have work to do. They basically, before they were jobless, they were just idle people there, standby people. Then now they have works. So China's economy has improved. China was happy. The Western powers are also happy. But the thing changed after 2000, year 2000. I don't know what in the leadership in China. They had even a joke. I don't know if it is joke or literally correct. That they have to produce 10 million pieces of underwears to in exchange for one Boeing aircraft. They have to sell 10 millions, more than 10 millions of underwears in exchange for them to be able to buy one Boeing 737. So the Chinese leadership thought that this should not go on. This should not go on. So they started to work on technology. One example is Huawei. Huawei was able to be the first company to have the 5G. And that alarmed the Western powers, especially the United States. That's why after 2000, year 2000, the relation of China and the West start to worsen. Until now, it cannot be. Henry Kissinger even said that the relation between U.S. and China cannot go back anymore to the old days. Yeah. So because they move on, they level up to become an industrial country. And now it's in 2010, China's economy surpassed Japan, become the second largest economy in 2010. That alarmed the United States. So they have to stop it. Or else the harmonious relation that we supply capital and in technology and you supply labor power will be disturbed. So China now has the technology, has the capital, has the manpower. It has everything. So It's in that. So in a way, from our point of view, as a third world country, China is a third world country also, the Philippines. We have to follow that.
We have the blueprint.
Yeah,
because we are now where they were.
Yes, now in the 1980s, China was practically more backward than our country.
Right.
I went there. You don't know, Peking cannot compete with Manila in terms of infrastructure. Shanghai was a dilapidated, but now, well, you see, so China, after 40 years, it became like that. Why not learn from that? It's not easy. It's not easy just to learn from that, no. But the school, the educational, the school. You ask what kind of school we need.
Right.
We should not only stay at this stage. The school should move forward. But the dilemma is that when we move forward, those who have opted for engineering subjects, research, the UP Diliman, after graduation, they cannot find job here. No company can hire them. They have to go to, you said, London or Germany. Those who are in the other end should go to in the Middle East to work as a ordinary laborer. This is the problem we have. So we are not living in a vacuum. That we want the school should cater to should produce high caliber graduates. Even in the elementary, you should be good in math, in science, no? But what after that? After that, they go to even the top universities. You do not offer courses that are already existing in MIT, in Peking University, in Tsinghua University. They have courses there that we don't have. Technology, I mean, in technology, because their economy already is ready to cater to this kind of graduates. So those universities open courses like this. In our country, we cannot because there's no market, and very few can want to go to that course to study that courses, because after that either you go abroad or you are jobless here. So supposedly education should serve the needs of the economy. But what kind of economy we have? It's agriculture, basically agriculture and commercial. This the trouble with this kind of economy is not it does not expand. It's static. It's the manpower that it can absorb is very limited. So graduates, we produce graduates that cannot be absorbed by the economy. So they are forced to go out abroad, like nurses. Of course, nurse is another matter because in abroad they earn more. Here they just being paid the minimum wage. This is just a stepping board for them. They have 2 years experience because that's required in the States. So they go there. After working, they would go.
Right.
Ready market, labor market there. So that's another matter. So now, because of this kind of economy, that we cannot blame our graduates that they want to become nurse instead of doctor. There are doctors who wanted to be nurse there, isn't it? We have lots of examples like
Right.
that. Because doctor, they said, oh, if go to the States, I can earn more. So I'd rather be a nurse there. So that's sad. Okay. So, well, that reflects the kind of that education will only thrive if it reflects, it serves the needs of the economy. The trouble is our economy cannot absorb that kind of uh, that numbers of manpower.
Right.
It's so limited. But no matter what, in the macro level, in the micro level, in a school, as a school, it is our duty. I think if I am an administrator of a school, it's my duty to produce graduates who are competent in the sense that they reach the standards set by the Department of Education. The curriculum of Department of Education don't be misled by the result of those like PISA. The curriculum of Department of Education is perfect. It is aligned with the standards, international standard. The trouble is, are we following? Are we serious with the curriculum? Are we following the standards set by the DepEd? So that probably somehow explains why we are in the bottom strata in terms of PISA results. Then it's not the curriculum that is the problem; it's the implementation. So it's if I run a school, probably the safest thing I would do is follow the DepEd curriculum and strictly follow the standards set by DepEd. Well, of course, we can also refer to other countries like Singapore. Singapore has been at the top in PISA. How is it that? Well, actually, you can go to the website and see all kinds of test paper, math, English, science of Singapore schools. They uploaded. No, I don't know why. They were so brave to show everything. You can see the items that they were, the actual test paper, and you can see some of the best practices they have. You get some ideas, and we can adopt it. We can adopt it in our system, and just to augment the DepEd curriculum, so that somehow we can level up, level up in our little way. We serve the economy. After graduation, it's no longer it's beyond our control. Right. Whether these children will become a high-end engineer or a tech voc, but it's beyond our control. What we can do is just that we produce. Well, for me, I think we need to. For me, I want to have a school that is heterogeneous. Heterogeneous in a sense that we don't select, we don't screen. I know some high caliber public school, high school, that are screening their children. Of course, they have their reason, no? Like UP High School, they screen. PhilSci, Philippine Science High School. Of course, they have their reason. I'm not questioning. They have the practice, but I want to have a school that does not screen.
Okay.
Heterogeneous, but a homogeneous classroom.
What does that mean?
Meaning, when you have the heterogeneous, different level children, different level of capability of absorbing the lessons, you segregate them. So in different sections, this section is higher, this a bit not so good, but with a caveat, that is, everyone has to reach the depth ed standard. Everyone has to reach the depth ed standard. So, 60 for us is 75. If the child cannot reach that standard, either the parents will insist that the child will stay here. Well, he will suffer definitely. They will be retained, then that's not a good solution. The child has to transfer. We are not throwing the child to the society. There are schools that he can go that are
Right.
that cater to his needs. So, in effect, the result eventually at the start, we are talking of starting a school, so a heterogeneous school, homogeneous classroom, but eventually you will have a homogeneous school, homogeneous classroom.
Eventually, that's
Eventually,
when everything balances out. That's what occurs.
yeah, there is no more star section or
Right,
a
right.
bright section. Everyone, no
Eventually.
more. It becomes that's the only logical pathway that it will lead to a homogeneous school, homogeneous classroom.
Let's go back to more broad, in a broader sense. You mentioned earlier that we should be able, a school, our country needs a school that not only caters to its current economy. You mentioned that the current economy is an agricultural, commercial, but not yet industrial
Yes.
economy. And you also believe, if I understood correctly, that schools should push past that.
Should spearhead.
Spearhead, yeah, spearhead the transformation or the evolution of this kind of society, of this kind of economy. Aside from, do you think it's enough that if we implement the DepEd curriculum, if all schools implement the DepEd curriculum, do you think that's enough?
Seriously.
You think that's enough to spearhead this kind of large scale change?
Yeah. I suspect the intention of the OECD country, the Organizations for Economic Cooperation and Development, mostly composed of Western advanced nations, the Program for International Students Assessment. They have objectives, and you can find this in the internet. But one objectives that is very much related to the school function is that the result of the PISA would somehow tell us what kind of manpower
Or talent.
graduates, talents,
Yeah,
the country will have in the next 5 to 10 years, which is very, 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 very basic, right? Because granting that the selection, they select around 8,000 students in one country, participating country, based on the introduction of the PISA, around 8,000 from good schools, go to the all spectrum. So they choose students, and then somehow then they get the average. They have the score, the ranking. So somehow they would say, granting that this is scientific, the way they choose the examinees, scientific, really follow the procedure in research, because basically this is a research work,
Right.
once every 3 years, and you could predict what will happen in the next 5 years, 10 years, and basically in the economy of the country. So if this is true, then I suspect the intention. They would see the result, and they need manpower. They need labor. Like Germany has a negative population rate. They need to import workers from other schools, from other country, and this can be a very good
It's like a
instrument.
survey. It's a
Yeah,
survey.
if your country or they want to invest, something, or not only importing manpower, but also they invest in what country they want to invest. If the country there is in PISA, the result, according to them, the manpower, the graduates there are very good. And most likely, they will invest in those countries.
Right.
That's why because OECD is basically a economic um, economic organization of the there are, I think 36 or 38 countries, member nations, that are all composed of advanced Western countries. So that is their way of surveying which country they want to invest or which country they want to
Okay.
open the country for manpower. So if our country is at the bottom, in Philippines, which sadly has been for 2 years, for two tests already, for 2018, 2021, they won't invest. Normally, they won't go to your country because your manpower cannot cannot satisfy our needs. And we won't even import, we won't even open we won't issue you visa or more visa for working visa to our country. This is a very normal consequences. What if our country is at the top because of our education? We do our best. We not even at the top now. Maybe in the rank 15. U.S. is even in the 12. Not even. So people would think those because we cannot deny that capital market, the industry is still dominated by the Western powers, Western nations. So they would tend to invest probably in the country, and they will get more high caliber graduates from our country. So the opportunity is open to us. The economic opportunity is open to our country.
Okay.
We are in a better position to negotiate with them because you see, so we are in the top. We have a very highly trained, highly educated graduates here. So chances are that they will. Why is it that they want in the first 20 years of in the opening of China? They went there. They set up factories that are labor intensive at that time. Now, hardly you can find a made in China Nike shoes. Mostly Indonesia, Vietnam, no more.
Yeah.
Because the China, the market of China now cannot absorb those kind of labor-intensive factory. Because the labor now, the salary now goes up. It's it goes up at least, I think, 40,000 pesos a month. Ordinary workers are receiving 40,000 pesos a month. That's ordinary. Like a street sweeper in Beijing is receiving 5,000 RMB.
That's
So how much?
40,000 pesos a month.
Street sweepers. So how much more those factory workers? Yeah. So those labor intensive factory cannot survive now in China. Now they set up high capital investment factories now in China. So that helps the Chinese economy. So in our country, that could happen if they see that our country has this capability. Labor market is capable of producing workers that would cater to the needs of this capital of this corporation. So in a way, that will help us move from an agricultural, commercial economy into industrial. It's a long process, but there is a hope now. There is a movement rather than stagnant now. So if we can show to the world that we are producing this kind of graduates and could attract, because we are capital poor country. Capital poor. We don't manpower, probably we are rich in manpower, but not skilled, low skilled, semi skilled workers. We are not producing high end workers. So no one would want. Like the Colgate Palmolive did not even hesitate to close down their factory here But because of strikes at that time, they transferred the factory to Thailand.
Okay. So, going back to schools. Now, you said that how do we create these graduates that would attract investment? What kind of how should a school be designed to create graduates that would spearhead this change in the economy?
First, we have to adhere strictly to the
DepEd.
DepEd curriculum.
And then
And
is that
then
enough?
follow the standard of DepEd. So once we follow, we definitely could produce good graduates in the basic education in senior high. So whether they will go whatever strand they go, because in private, let's say I'm talking for private school, no, in the sense, the public school has no problem. They have all the strands, no problem with that. You know, in private school, you can hardly find a school. I don't know, no, if there is one or two that is offering a tech book. Because one is that you need tech book, technology, technical vocational, not even technology, a technical vocational strand, and you need to invest a big room with all the tools there. A private school cannot, and that's one thing. Another one is that how would you expect that a parent would send a child in a private school paying so much tuition fee and then will opt for a tech book, and after finishing tech book won't even go to college, just tech book and work? I cannot find one. I did not have a formal survey of the parents, but my intuition would tell me that if you grab any parent, one or two, you ask them, do you want, after your child graduates from senior high school, do you want him to work or you want him to go college? I'm sure that no one will say that the child will offer a tech, will stop schooling and then work. Mostly would go to college. That's why in private school, it's very normal for the school to only offer academic strand. And that reflects also that that reflects the kind of mentality of the parents that we have. We are just catering to the needs of the parents. So the school your question is that enough, or if the school
Is that enough?
it will change the we
Like
we
what is it really that we need, from a school?
we need good graduates, because good graduates would give a signal to everyone. We are lucky to have this PISA. We just joined in 2018. I was very happy when under President Duterte, that was under Dr. Briones, no? He was so brave to let the Philippines. It's so commendable. Although we were at the bottom, no? 79 out of 79, we ranked 79. The fact that we joined is already a big step forward. What we should do next is to go higher every 3 years, every 3 years. And looking at the ranking, the top 40, 40 or 35. Now, no African country is there. Mostly, of course, the top are East Asian country and the Europe country, Eastern and Europe, and US is not even at the top. It's the 12 or 3. Very few. Would you believe that the Philippines is even lower than those sub-Saharan African nation in ranking? We started with that. We can easily go up 10 ranks higher if we are serious with because after the curriculum, the DepEd curriculum is enough. It's enough for me. It's easy to go up, and once we go up, as I said, OECD nations, there are capital rich Western European countries will see that this country is serious with its education, because this is actually to make a country from a nation to shift from agriculture to industry. It takes basically it should be the political machinery of the country should lead the shift. But if granting that there's no initiative in that level, education can do it. In what way? In giving the impression to the other nation, to the capital-rich country, that oh, this Philippines is there at the middle or even high, the top, the graduates that they produce can cater to our needs.
Okay.
Yeah, I mentioned China a while ago. At the first 20 years, it's labor intensive. After the late 20 years are capital intensive already. From the foreign investors, those are capital capital intensive investment. There's a big shift. So why is it so? Aside from the labor power that is daily increasing, it's also that they can see the quality of the graduates of China is capable of satisfying the needs of their capital investment, machinery, all those technology. That's why they shifted to this, and that benefits China a lot. That's why it becomes from the third in before 2010 to second largest economy, and 2014 is the largest, even surpassed U.S. in terms of
Purchasing power.
purchasing power parity.
Okay.
Until now, it maintained the number one. So that is, of course, it's not magic. It's not instant, but at least we show to the world. We are shouting to the world that we are graduates, our people here are capable the Philippines is ready to cooperate with you. We welcome investment, and you are with this kind of manpower we have, you are confident that we can satisfy your needs.
Okay.
Not only exporting manpower, but also importing, attracting investments from rich Western European countries.
Is that the only way? Is there a way to improve the economy without the dependence on foreign investment?
Well,
This
probably,
is a bit
yeah.
of a tangential question.
Another result probably would be because we have good graduates, and I said knowledge is the mentality, the hard work is transferable. So they would probably, who knows, we can produce good high caliber entrepreneurs. They can start business that is related to more advanced technology. Well, yeah, that's possible. And then aside from foreign investment, we produce homegrown entrepreneurs.
right.
Entrepreneurs. That's very possible now because we have the knowledge, we have the manpower. They are highly trained in the top universities. So we have good universities here. Instead of going out, they start their business here. They have the know-how.
I have a few businessmen friends, friends who are running very successful business, and because so far what we've been talking about the PISA results, because you mentioned
Yeah.
entrepreneurship as a way to, stimulate the economy ourselves.
Yes.
Without the
Foreign
need for foreign investment. They would listen to our conversation maybe, and they would say, I don't need to be at the top of my class to contribute to the economy. Academics is not my priority. It was never my priority when I was in school. And I feel like I'm doing better for myself than many of my classmates who were so focused on studies. And there's the saying, I'm sure you've heard of the saying, C students work for the, C students hire the A students.
Yeah.
They would cite, they probably wouldn't, but that's the mindset that they were probably in. What would you say to them? Because so far
Yeah.
we've talked about schools and how they have this opportunity to spearhead the evolution or the change in our society, in our economy. But what would you say to them if they came to you and said, like, academics was not my
Yeah.
strong suit.
Yeah.
But and still, look at how I'm contributing.
Yeah. So we just focus first on the classmates that you have, right?
Right.
So if you don't, if those classmates of yours would say that they're not focused on their academics when they were in high school, I won't believe it. Because in the first place, you cannot enter Ateneo. Admo, if Ateneo de Manila University, if
Right.
you're not good in math, science, English. Yeah, it's not easy to enter that university, right? So there's no question that they're academically ready, academically well prepared when in their basic education. They are the cream. Yeah, just we have to face it. The ADMO is one of the top universities that is included in the top 500 universities in the world. It's been, I think, 300 something. That reminds me of another example that's cited by some learners that, well, Bill Gates is a dropout. Well, I said, well, where did Bill Gates drop out? So how was Bill Gates able to enter Harvard in the first place? Is it easy to enter Harvard? I throw the question to them. Oh no, of course no. Not everyone can enter Harvard. It's tough. So are you telling me that Bill Gates was not academically prepared when he was in high school? Yeah, he was a good, probably, or else he cannot enter Harvard. He dropped out because he realized that law is not for him, and now he went to that other sector. But he was ready. He's academically prepared. That I said, math, learning in math, and it's not math, it's not science. It's the spirit. It's the kind of personality, the hard work probably he developed, the self confidence he developed, that makes him successful. So where did he get all what transformed him to become that kind of person? And because of the learning process when he was in the elementary and high school. Definitely that affects him. Maybe that's another factor, that he was already had got that entrepreneurial
Entrepreneurial
spirit
yeah.
when he was in high school. But that alone cannot explain why he became like that. Well, one other story, I think this is true, that in the evening he would go to to a university, and he would use the computer lab of that university to work on the software that would eventually be I think with IBM. They have a partnership with IBM. Might be other um, cases that would defy this notion that academics is really a very big factor. But based on statistics, I don't have a ready-made, statistics figure on that. But I would believe that they are just an exception, a few exceptions. Mostly, those are successful. Like, for example, our business tycoons here. You check the background, academic background. They are engineer, chemical engineer. I won't mention names. Graduates of UP Diliman, the Taipan here, UP Diliman, and then they're top caliber graduates of top caliber university. It's just that we are blind to that. No, when we are already only focusing on their success. Our impression is that all of them
Bill
are
Gates
dropouts.
and Steve Jobs and
Yeah.
Mark Zuckerberg, all dropouts.
All dropouts. But you go to the background, the educational background. Somewhere there is the shadow of academics or math, science. Not really math, science, because of these are just tools, no? Like chemistry. Why study chemistry? But the I even hate chemistry. But I want to excel. I want to be the top in my class after the year, in the school year. I want to have the gold medal done on me by the parents. So I have to, even how much I hate the subject, I have to work on that. So in the process, I learned not everything you want, you like, that you have to do it. In fact, on the contrary, which you don't like, you have to expert effort, and in the process you realize that, even these things, faced with these adversities, difficulties I was able to hurdle. In the process, of course, I learned something about science, but it's the byproduct. It's not the main the main issue here is that I learned. Through that, I become a stronger person. I learned to face something that I hate. I don't like.
Right.
In fact, that's a small matter. When you are in already working, you have your own profession, you are handling something, you're an entrepreneur, whatever. You will face with all this kind of hardship, something that you don't like. Even clients you don't like the personality, but you have to adjust in order to attain your goal. So this is part of the training.
Process.
It's a process.
So the way you're talking about education in academics specifically is that it's not the end in itself. It's
In a way, it's a tool.
It's a tool.
Yeah.
It's when we would often hear the question like why learn algebra, why learn.
But algebra, of course, is important. No, it's a basic math. It's basic math. But it's not algebra itself. It's the process. It will sharpen the analytical mind of the learner. Geometry is a subject that the core of the subject is relationship. The relation of the line with plane. The relation, why is it we have this postulate, this theorem. You're talking of relationship from the start of the course up to the end of the subject. Everything talks about relationship, logical relationship. No? So by studying that, you learn some to sharpen your analytical mind. At the same time, I hate geometry, especially for those learners who hate geometry. This geometry is for them. It's really for them, so that after, especially that they want to excel, because our curriculum, the way we handle our school matters is aligned with DepEd curriculum, aligned with DepEd standard. So everyone has to reach certain level. So I hate this, but I have to make sure that I'm able to satisfy the requirements of the school and even excel. I want to have medals.
And
so at the end,
is this what you mean when you said earlier? You mentioned very briefly that knowledge. I think knowledge is transferable. That's what you mean by it, or is there?
I think we have to qualify it. Knowledge itself is not transferable. The process of gaining the knowledge, the personality of the person is transformed. That is transferable.
Transferable to what?
Transferable to like, for example, how to deal with difficulties not related to the algebra. How we'll talk about after graduation, work is transferred to how I deal with people, how I solve the problem I meet in my profession, in my work. Those are the ones that, not mentioning the figures probably,
Right.
but setting it aside, the kind of person that I am now is affected because of the way the process that lead me from not knowing algebra into knowing algebra. Is that my personality, my mentality, my psychology is transformed.
Okay. Understood.
I think your first question is what schools do we need? There's even one book, no, that is entitled "The Schools We Need." It's a nice book. The author is an American educator, a famous American educator. His book you read the book from the first page up to the last. That book itself cannot even answer fully your question, because of course one reason is that it is American based. Talks about the American educational system. Ours here in the Philippines, we cannot directly apply something. But education is a universal topic. It's a universal phenomenon. So even if we don't have the same socioeconomic situation, but there is something that in education that is transcendent. We can be applied in the U.S. and Philippines. So it takes volume. I think education is a very interesting subject, and no book can claim, no author, no educational theorist could claim that he has exhausted
Right.
all the issues involving education. And another reason is that it is an ongoing process. Tomorrow, probably the situation would call for another way of looking at education. So,
Okay.
100 years ago, probably people would see education in a different way. Some even said the school is a product of the Industrial Revolution. It's a mass
Right.
production.
Right.
Because this is the cheapest way of producing manpower, uh, talents. This is the cheapest way. Or
Okay.
some would call for a individualized learning. Oh, it's so expensive.
AI, it's possible now.
Few decades later, hence the school will no longer exist.
Mm.
I said, yeah, probably. Yeah, I believe in that. Probably in 60 years, probably the school will, but it will change. After 20 years, I would see that the school, there's no prospect that the school will just go wither away. Probably in the future, but now,
But we'll see. Yeah, with AI.
yeah, because this setup is the cheapest way
Right.
of producing. Well, we have produced lots of good graduates.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this will still exist. This will exist. Who knows?
It's an ongoing
Process.
education
Yeah,
process,
it's a
and
process.
this conversation too about education, it's an ongoing one, and we'll keep talking about it in the future. But for now, it's a good place to end.